Hi everyone, my name is Ariana Krolyak, and this is my PowerPoint presentation on Caritas Process. I specifically chose number 5, which is to forgive, but by starting the presentation I want to talk about caring science as a whole. The root of the word nursing means nurturance, or to nurture or care. I believe that caring is the essence of nursing and the core of the profession. Caring consists of the Caritas process, which is that facilitates healing, honors wholeness, and contributes to the evolution of humanity, according to Watson. There are 10 Caritas processes: embrace, inspire, trust, nurture, forgive, deepen, balance, co-create, minister, and open. And like I said, I specifically chose forgive. The definition of the Caritas process forgive is to allow for expression of positive and negative feelings and to authentically listen to another person's story. I believe it's important to allow our patients to express their feelings, even negative or positive. And as a nurse, it's important to listen to the patient's stories and feelings. I believe this helps build rapport, and it's also a part of the Caritas process. And more times than not, patients receive bad news from doctors on our unit. Our unit is a cardiac progressive care unit, and some examples could be that they suffered a heart attack, which would be scary for anyone to learn that news, or they come in with chest pain and they get a bunch of tests done and it's shown that their ejection fraction is low, which can indicate heart failure or cardiomyopathy, or that they have blockages in their coronary arteries and would have to go to the cath lab, which could be scary and intimidating for people. In these instances, it's understandable that patients will have negative feelings or just anxiety and different thoughts about that. An example of using the Caritas process forgive is I had a patient come in for chest pain, and he was very cautious about going to cath lab or CVL for a heart cath and possible stent placements. He was very short and kind of hostile and closed off, and what people would think he was being rude, but I still just focused on the patient and how he was feeling, if he was in pain. I was getting vital signs on him and just talking, building rapport, and I was calmly listening to him, and I let him finish his sentences, and I judged off body language. And finally we got to talking, and he told me that his brother went to the hospital last year for the same type of stuff, but unfortunately he coded in the cath lab on the table and he had to go to ICU, but later he didn't make it due to complications. And I sat there and I listened and I acknowledged his feelings, and I let there be moments of silence, like I said, just based off what I was feeling from him. And to come to find out, he wasn't being rude or he wasn't being standoffish. He was just really anxious and nervous, and he was still probably grieving the loss of his brother, and for him to be in that same position would be scary for anyone. So myself and the cardiac doctors and other nurses, our manager, we're a pretty close-knit unit, so everyone helps each other out. Well, we were all just kind of talking with him, educating him about his disease process and the pros and cons of going to CVL, and luckily he did decide to go to the cath lab, and they placed a couple stents and he was discharged the next day. When he came back from cath lab, he didn't have any complications. He came off bed rest, his groin sites were okay, he was chest pain free, and he was really very happy and thankful that he went through it and that we worked at his pace, and we didn't necessarily force him to do anything, but we sat there and we authentically and genuinely listened to his concerns. And so that's a good outcome for that. I think forgive is so important to me because I do believe that a person should express their feelings, and most of the time it's important to express their negative feelings, because if not, they get bottled up and it can just turn into worse scenarios. I've always been taught growing up, and I still believe that it's important to get things off your chest, because if not, it's just going to eat at you, and it'll just make things so much worse for you and everyone around you. So I enjoy playing that role because I believe nurses should be non-judgmental, and we should be a safe place where patients can open up and trust us and talk to us without being judged or looked down upon, because that's, at the end of the day, that's not what we're there for. We're there to advocate for our patients and to take care of our patients for the best outcomes for them. And then again, like I said, I believe nurses should be authentic and they should genuinely listen to their patients' concerns. The importance of listening in nursing, it helps build trusting, caring, and therapeutic relationships. And I personally enjoy listening to my patients' stories or concerns because I've always kind of been about other people. I'm a pretty selfless person, so when I'm even talking to my friends or family or coworkers or anyone, I'm always wanting to know how their day went or things about them. I'm a good listener. I like to listen, and that's kind of how I show my love and affection towards my loved ones, and I carry that along with my patients as well. I think that might be the last slide. Yeah, that was the last slide. These are my references here for my PowerPoint. Thank you guys for listening, and have a good night.